Hiya, Dan.
Hey up.
Hey up, peas in a pod. Sunday morning, we're down here again. Two little things to show you this morning. Starting off your potatoes. So now it's time everybody's buying the seed potatoes. So the traditional way of starting them off. And the first pot of some tomatoes, Dan.
Yeah.
Which, if you remember, I don't know if it was last episode, we set these lettuce off into coir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Them cabbages over there, them giant ones and medwings which have gone into the first pot. And I did say I was going to put some tomato seed in and then put it in propagator, which were Maisie from medwings. So that's them.
They're looking well.
They're not doing bad. They've got the first true leaves on. There were 8 seed and 7's come up, so that's not bad. It's fair, isn't it? 99%.
Yeah, decent germination,
that. First pot, right, where am I going to pot them into firstly? Well, it's seed and module again. Basically, all module means is its first pot from getting the pricked out stage. Yeah, there's very little to no fertilisers in a seed and module compost. We ain't been tomatoes and a hungry plant. I'm just going to add a bit of something which I'll come to when I start potting them. Right, so if you're sowing them in a pot like this, which is one of the best ways for not disturbing roots, if you're in a seed tray, you're going to have to get something like a label, a fork or something and tease them out to pot them on. In a pot like this, you don't have to. What I like to do is just tap them all out like that, so I can individually split them. Look at all that I've got there. Very little root disturbance at all. Compost. Now, how we want to pot them up. Don't pot it like so that's level.
No.
Yeah, you don't want all that stem. You can turn all that stem into root. So you always pot them up, the first pot, whenever you're moving them on, to the first set of leaves.
Right, okay.
Which I'll show you. And it all falls to bits on the Sit them in until you're looking to roughly have those leaves level with top of the pot. And they're very gentle, fragile, fibrous roots when they're this size, so don't tap this compost down. Make sure you've got a nice pot full of compost. We keep it very light indeed. You don't want to restrict that fibrous growth at all with roots.
Yeah.
Want it nice and loose and open so them roots can get out. Like I said, there's no or very little nutrients in these seed composts. The reason why I put it into a seed compost is at this stage, I don't want to give it loads of fertiliser. It's still January, just going into February next week. I don't want to force them too much. I don't want them to grow too soft. I want to grow nice and steady. I did mention the reason why I set these off early is because I want some cuttings off, because they're only 8 seed and I want a few more plants. But what I'm going to add is just a pinch, or 3 or 4 tops. Yep, and that's calcified seaweed.
Right, okay.
The reason why I'm adding that is mainly for calcium. Tomatoes rely very heavily on calcium to unlock all the other nutrients and things that they need. And in a granulated form like that, what is going to happen is every time I water these, it will wash a bit of that fertiliser calcium off.
Yeah.
And it goes into the compost. So basically, that's like a slow release fertiliser.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
So could you use the powdered calcified seaweed or?
Yeah, you can do, but you just have to be very sparingly.
Yeah.
The amount that you add at this stage. It's like I say, you don't want to be forcing these plants. You want a very nice steady growth. This is a cordon variety as well. We did a 1 seed challenge, didn't we? The majority of them are up now, aren't they?
Yeah. So obviously the 1 seed challenge. I think we said, are we going to close that at May?
Yeah, Coronation.
Coronation.
We'll close it in Coronation, so that's the date for everybody to. Well, I'm not saying everybody's royalist, but that we can probably remember. I'm just going to finish these off now. I've started.
Yeah, so I'll just touch upon that little 1 seed challenge. Basically, it's just going to see how many cuttings we can get just from 1 tomato, really. So it's not a challenge where you're going to win anything or anything like that. It's just a bit of fun. But yeah, if you want to take part, just go and have a look on his Facebook page.
No prizes this year with price of gas.
No, definitely not. just to make it a bit more interesting.
The thing with these, Dan, when you go to first potting stage, this is for any seed, any plant you're growing from seed. Never touch the stem. When you're moving them, always go with a leaf.
Yeah.
If you snap a leaf off, it won't matter. If you snap that stem, it's game over.
Yeah.
Get him so he's sat at that height you want. Just firming, but not compacted.
So same again as well, obviously transplanting, not using no root hormones or anything like that.
No, not at all. Not with these, they grow strong enough. The more bacterial grows, we will be doing that with the kohlrabi. We grow, like, as you know, we grow giant stuff. So they're the kohlrabi. And we're going to grow them this year, which I've put on here, just out of interest of people. They're going into the guava compost, which is basically bat droppings.
Yeah.
It's got in it. We'll be adding eco-thrive as well to them. So
right.
We'll see how they go on with that now.
That's
Where the giant kohlrabi, I think they can get up to like 50, 60 pounds in weight, I do believe.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was about 2 years ago, I tried one. And
they're doing all right, weren't they?
It was, but the top went rotten on it.
Yeah.
When I come to pull it out, it was just full of water, and by God, the stench was absolutely horrible.
Yeah. Well, they will, believe it or not, they'll end up in them off barrels.
Yeah.
Pick of the bunch, you know, in
the blue ones.
Yeah.
Which I think they're like a 50-gallon bucket, aren't they? And then chopped down.
Yeah. So what's that? I don't know what litre is it. I think the 125 litre then. So
possibly, yeah.
They're going to be in basically like a 60 litre pot, innit? They'll end up in 70 litre pot, or 60 litre. It's all about that detail again. You know, I know people say, well, I don't talk about like that, but it's the way I do it. It's a bit like taking your driving like tests. I try and show you the right ways and the way you'll do it then entirely up to yourselves. That'll do. I'll bob them into Bosch in a minute when we've done that. We'll have a good water. They'll stop in here. We've got heat on now, so they'll be fine in here.
Yeah.
The heat's at this side of the greenhouse, which I don't want to do it on, put them on there because, like I say, it'll force them too much.
Yeah.
I want a nice thick stem on them, so I don't want them to be too elongated and leggy. Yeah. So that's the mazes there in the first pot. I'll put my ticket back in. Although I know what a tomato looks like now. I've been doing it long enough. Let's get shut to that for a minute. And potatoes. Right, these. Egg tray. Depends how many you're growing, or an egg box will do.
Yeah.
What I want to do is a technique called chitting. Right. I know one of the first comments I've heard, and people will say, well, farmers don't do this because they have fields and fields of potatoes. They can't do all this. No, but a farmer, if he's growing 10, 20, 30 hectares of them, whatever, they have a percentage for loss.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're just growing 15 potato seeds, you want 15 potato plants.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why we do it. And it's a simple process. Grab your potato. You've got your bag of seed potatoes. These are Bluebell, main crop potato from, these are bred off Kestrel.
Yeah.
I grew them last year for show as a bit of background. What I had spare before show day, we ate.
Yeah.
And then we ate a lot.
Yeah.
Good. Show any. They were really nice taters, yeah. So what you're looking for is what we call the rows. You see there, Dan?
Yeah.
That's where all the eyes are. Yep.
Okay.
Make sure it's firm. If there's any soft, which is another good reason for doing this because you're getting them out of this bag.
Yeah.
If there's any soft, disregard them, put them away. And then you just, with the rows end up with the eyes showing, you just sit them in a seed tray, egg tray, like this. Yep. And all you're doing is you're sprouting them. That's all chitting means. Have to be very careful how you say that.
So, as for keeping these then while they're sprouting, what sort of environment do they want to be kept
what they don't
in?
want is central heating straight away, so they don't want to be in a house.
Right, okay.
Because they'll go soft on you. You know, if you leave a bag of potatoes at home eating potatoes, that you overlook or you miss, and then you go back to them. A lot of times they've started sprouting and they've not drawn like that. So they want to be frost free. These will stop in here, but again, they won't go on the side of the greenhouse that's got the heat. They'll just sit up here. Yeah.
Just by
what you don't want them to do, well, other reasons you don't want warmth on them, is you don't want them to shrivel up.
Yeah.
You know, they'll just lose all the hydration. So they don't want to be wet because it'll rot them. But what I'll do is I'll keep my eye on them, and then I'll use this. It's got a bit of seaweed in it, it doesn't matter. Just give them a light misting. That's every now and again, you know, once a week maybe. Depending, if it starts getting really hot, warm days, which it can do early Feb, I know it don't get ridiculously hot, but it'll get warm enough to start shrinking them, then you can, you know, just give them a light spray. Such as that there, it's got slight damage in that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use that, because that is leaving it a chance that could get some sort of infection and problem and rot. I mean, these are probably, or not probably, what the first veg a lot of people grow.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think like that first thing I remember planting as a kid, and I think that was some taters that had started running in cupboards. And,
yeah,
you know.
They're a really good crop though, aren't they? Because I mean, even if you've not got a garden, you can get the tatey bags and that now.
Yeah.
Or even just a bag of compost. You can just go out, buy a bag of compost and just shove 3 or 4 seed taters in.
In fact, well, we did it last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
We grew them in bags, we grew them in
buckets.
In them 30-litre buckets, we grew them in ground, grew them under black weed suppressant. Yeah. And that's it, folks. It's as simple as that, really. Yeah, planting wise, it's sort of mid-April onwards, isn't it, with potatoes? You do get your first earlies, which is a new potato, basically.
Yeah.
Second earlies in the main crop, which can, like, throw some people.
Yeah.
You can plant them all at the same time. Don't matter. You know, just bang them all in at the same time. Remember what's what. The only difference is, your first earlies, you're lifting first. Your second earlies, you're lifting second. And your main crop's going to be into autumn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pests and diseases, there's 2 main pests we have, obviously that's slugs.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to slug remedies, because there's that many thousands and everybody has their own way, I think, of dealing with slugs. There's the eelworm, which again, you won't really know until it's too late with that, but if you do start getting problems with eelworm, you can get a pesticide for it. And of course there's blight.
Yeah.
There's a liquid control out now for blight through Jameson Brothers on the internet. I think it's about £20 for, it might be a litre.
Yeah.
That'll last a long time. But blight-wise, we've been all right last few summers.
Yeah, we've not really bothered.
No, it's when you get warm and really humid, wet summers, then you're going to get problems with blight. So yeah, you know, if there's a problem, we'll fix it. But if there isn't, I'm not going to spend money on blight spray when I can get in blight. Simple as. So there you go. So like I say, we'll leave them. I've got Bluebell there, and then I've got a Golden Wonder down there, which I've had an heads up that slugs on here love Golden Wonder.
Right.
So I will chit them, but them I'll grow in buckets.
Yeah.
These Bluebell I'm going to put in a bed. They'll go in buckets, try and give them a bit more protection against the slugs. Yeah. So yeah, jobs that you can be cracking on with. The shallots we put in, they're up and they're doing all right. They're in the cold greenhouse. No point in being in here taking up space. They don't need the heat. Like I said, there's them lettuce, which we're growing in coir. I'll get on with them this week, move them into some more coir. I'm just debating what to do with them with being a leaf lettuce. I don't know if you get a window box down and just, you know, put them all.
Yeah, maybe a window box or a few pots or something.
Yeah. Some pot leeks, which are a bit behind, but they were looking a bit ropey, but they're picking up a bit now. They're CSX. Yeah. The greyhound cabbages, what we sown at the same time as the tomatoes and the lettuce. Yeah, and obviously some of the onions have gone into bigger pots. That's about it for the minute, Dan, innit?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be back soon, won't we?
We will.
Yeah, keep at it.
And we'll see you later.
Cheers.